Where does yesterday's future, which is already here, meet today's future, which is about to happen, and tomorrow's future, which could be just minutes away? Welcome to Technology Revolution, the future of now.
Look at Mary now!
Where host Bonnie D. Graham asks savvy futurists for their predictions about the tech-driven trends that are shaping our future right now. Here's your host, who will take us into the future of now, Bonnie D. Graham.
Hey, thank you to the wonderful voice who always introduces me. We'll let that music play out a little. Bonnie D here. It's a morning of confusion and everything. We were all talking about how Zoom Workplace. If anybody from Zoom Workplace is listening, we don't like all of these things that keep popping up on the screens and all the new steps we have to take to open you, but we still like Zoom very much. I'm here with 5 of my very favorite people, and we're going to do not a redux, but I'm calling it not part 2, chapter 2. I thought that sounded like we are putting together, Mary, it sounds like we're putting together a document or a learning, something like that, a book. We're putting together a book, and we're talking about the future of fresh AI apps. So I've titled this, Need help with that? The future of fresh AI apps. So my stellar panel here, and I'm going to introduce you with the usual rhyming in a second. They have compiled lists. Some of you have 5, some of you have 10. One of you, Bob, I think you brought 15 or 20. Bob's just going to just zoom us off into I'm calling it the AI-sphere. I think I coined that on LinkedIn today. Eric, I don't know if you saw that. Eric likes those things. Okay, so let me start out. Here we go. And we are live streaming. Everybody wave hello to LinkedIn, wave hello to Facebook. Oh, we have a viewer on YouTube. And YouTube, of course. So here we go. Upon the cyber waves of tomorrow's grace, Bonnie D., that's me, hosts in her Scarlett Mike's embrace. I'm hugging it. Welcome to Technology Revolution, the Future of Now show. The future of AI apps. Need help with that? We want to know. 5 futurists share more than 25 apps they may use tomorrow. Time will tell if these apps bring smiles, ho-hum, or sorrow. Watch and listen. Eric's enjoying this. Watch and listen. You might learn something new as we curate fresh AI apps to work and play for you. And when I call your name, wave. Mary Nunaley is back. Mary sparks ideas that gleam. Co-founding the bold Lavender Dragon team. With passion and play, she designs with delight, transforming learning into magic that shines so bright. Mary, that's a new one. Did you like it?
I like it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bob Ficken is back. Professor and leadership coach, so keen, guiding businesses to AI from what was once unseen. From startups to giants, Bob has paved the AI way, teaching owners in schools to allow AI to have a say. Bob, what'd you think? I got a thumb up. Oh, Mr. Very colorful background. We got 2 thumbs up. This is lovely. Martin Stenzig is back, bringing insights on tech and more, driving innovation so business processes soar. An advisor with wisdom in each transformation. Martin's on deck, exploring AI's broad application. Okay?
Love it.
He likes it. Good. Sherryanne Meyer is here. She leads with a humanistic touch, spanning 27 countries, simplifying tech so much. Sherry crafts solutions that all can pursue her goal, empowering the workforce anew. Sherry, I hope you like it. Good. And Eric Myers is here, professor with a smile and passion strong. He's always smiling, helping students discover where their careers might belong. With awards in teaching and a mind sharp and bright, Eric turns data into wise business insight. I hope you like that, Eric.
Beautiful as ever, Bonnie. You're not master with those words.
I was talking about me or the poem, but thank you, Eric. With Bonnie D and brilliant panelists, the stage is set to explore AI's upcoming surprises. And yet, in business and daily life, AI's wonders continue to unfold. Here on Technology Revolution's airwaves, join us and behold. I hope you all like that. Okay. Now, I got the order a little bit mixed up there, so I'm going to give you the correct order. And the order today is Mary and Bob and Sherry, and then Martin, and then Eric. So the poems were a little out of order, but you got to forgive me. It's been one of those days already. I'm just going to say I found a couple of apps to recommend, and I found a whole bunch for presentations. You all remember something called PowerPoint? Do you remember that? You'd think I'm talking about Excel the way I said that. Oh my God. There's something called beautiful.ai, which will set up your work in minutes. There's something called gamma.app and a chatbot that will allow you to make a presentation from chat or import text. There's Powtoon, POWTOON.com, transform static presentations into animated videos. I like that one. And then I have one more. This is for me and Sher. Well, it might be actually for all of you. I'm not sure here. It is called Gensmo, Gensmo. It's an AI-powered app that functions as a personal stylist. It will offer clothing outfit suggestions. Eric, are you nodding? Do you know this one? And styling advice based on your input, whether it's a photo of your wardrobe or a description of your style preferences. So there we go. Very interesting. Would anybody use that, Sherry or Mary, or anybody would use a style preference? Mary said no. Lavender Dragon tells her what to wear. Sherry, you and I are mostly in dark colors, right?
Yeah, when I'm doing things like this, I like black. It's slimming.
That's our secret. We're not supposed to tell that. I actually have trouble fitting in my neighborhood here. I've been here 2 years and I haven't been successful in joining a lot of groups. And somebody said to me, if you just buy a damn pair of jeans and a t-shirt, maybe people would like you better. And I said, thank you very much. And I went home and put my black dress on. There we go. Okay, so let's go through a couple of apps from each of you. It won't be one apiece. It'll be a whole bunch. Mary, I'm starting you off and you brought a whole bunch. You had these for part one and you were not able to join us that day a couple months ago. So I see here 8. Why don't you go through them? I'm putting you on speaker view and tell us a little bit what you got. Mary, welcome back.
Sure. And did you want me to screen share or just chat about them?
You're welcome to screen share. Let me get rid of the audio share. Sharing is available now. Go ahead. And same for all of you. Go ahead, Mary.
All right. Let me see if I can screen share.
Now I have to allow. That's new. Wow. Zoom has changed. Go ahead.
All right. So Bonnie already talked about Gamma. So I'm going to talk about a couple of others. First of all, if you haven't played with Google Experiments, I highly encourage you to Google Experiment because they have so many cool things over here in their search labs. So they've got, I could do a whole session just on what's in the Google Experiments, but I've picked a couple. So if you want to do something fun, for example, Whisk allows you to take an image of yourself and turn yourself into a little plushie. You can also make yourself into a sticker. And so it's really fun, especially because, a lot of students like to have stickers so they can go to Whisk, do their stickers, print out a sticker sheet. You can come into the tool and change it. Like, I don't think my nose is normally that red, but, you can also put a little scene or add some text. So this is a fun one to play with. So if you haven't played with Whisk, it's one of the Google experiments. So we've got that. And since we're in experiments, I also wanted to show you, where is it? Yes, you get to listen to me sing. Here we go. Say what you see. So as Bonnie knows, I really like playing with AI art. And so say what you see is a great way to hone your skills in writing art prompts. So it's based like a game. And the goal is to type in what you see in the picture, and then you get graded on how well you do, but it really helps develop that visual eye. So here it gives you prompts like include information about the medium, a painting, the subject, a dog, and the context in a field. And so you have to then look at the picture, type in what you see. And so I'm just going to say a bunch of colors because we know that that's not correct. And we click on that and it gives us like a little bit of question marks. So I'm not going to get a matching image because I just put a bunch of colors and I gave no context or anything to the AI. So I got a bunch of colors, but now I got my little brain bot here giving me some tips on be more specific and tell the AI what you want. So even if you're doing text-based prompts, this is kind of a fun way to hone your prompting skills. So I got a 60% match because I did have the word color.
Mary, that looks like pool noodles that had a little bit too much of a martini before they went in the pool.
It does kind of look like pool noodles. All right. Can you still see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Excellent. So Bonnie had mentioned Powtoons. I'm actually a big fan of Vyond, which is another animation software. And about a year or so ago, they released a tool called Vyond Go, which allows you to quickly create animated videos with a variety of scenes. And you can either make it follow your exact script or you can give it a topic. So I'm just going to say people talking about the weather. And so I go in here, I can say, do I want a talking head, a conversation? So let's say conversation. I have a whiteboard style. I have, all these different things I can pick from. So I'm going to come over here. It's choosing the characters for me, but I can go in and choose my characters, hit create video. And then in a couple of minutes, I get a full animated video. Now, some of the other things that Vyond has done is included the ability to create custom avatars. That's an additional fee, but if you've ever seen Hey Jen or Synthesia, you can create avatars of yourself. They're also integrated with Well Said Labs, which is one of the AI voiceover platforms that are out there. If you're familiar with 11 Labs, Well Said is similar. So they have the Well Said Labs integrated as well. So you can pick custom voices to go with each of your characters, or you can upload your own narration, and then you can go in and edit them and make little changes, or you can build from scratch. But the AI one, I think, is pretty fun. So we're going to let it do its thing. Here we go.
Mary, this is incredible. I feel like I'm in a lesson plan here. This is wonderful.
I'm going to
This
stop
is
sharing
wonderful.
for just a second, and thank you, just because I wanted to share the sound. But then over here, it gives you your script. So this is their quick edit. So if you want to change in the script, you can edit it. And here's my little video based on 2 people talking about the weather.
Have you noticed how unpredictable the weather has been lately?
Absolutely. I read that climate change is causing more extreme weather events.
Right. Like last summer was one of the hottest on record, with temperatures reaching over 100 degrees Fahrenheit in many places.
So I'm not going to have you watch the entire video, but
I want to, but
well, I know other people want to chat, so we can always come back. But let's say I wanted to change the character. I can come over here, quick edit, change my character. So maybe I want to have a chef instead. So now it's going to change my characters throughout. If I need to change something in the verbiage, I can just, type right in here. It'll regenerate the words for me, keep the same voices, and, there we go. So see, one simple button click, and now I've got
Absolutely.
a chef.
I read that climate
and it's a
change
girl
is
chef.
causing more extreme weather events.
So that's one of our favorite tools to work with. They also provide, they being Vyond, photorealistic backgrounds so that you can, let's say I wanted to have a photorealistic background with the animated characters, and they also have an AI image generation tool, so you can quickly create custom images if you need to. So that's one of our favorite toys to play with.
How do you get work done if you're having so much fun playing with all these toys, Mary? I just sit here and do this for hours and I have another show. Go ahead.
Okay, so it's part of my job. Pictory is another one. I don't know if you're familiar with this. This uses a lot of stock images and again allows you to create custom videos. You drop in your script, it generates the video for you. I'm not going to demonstrate how to use it, but I just want to show you the output of one if I can get myself to log in. Sorry, I forgot to log in.
That's okay. This is so
but anyway,
fun.
the Pictory has different, subscription levels, but it integrates with Google, with Getty images. And so you've got all kinds of stock images that are included. Pictory also uses 11 Labs voices, which are a little bit higher quality, and then standard voices. So I play a little game with myself now whenever I'm on TikTok to try and identify which 11 Labs voice the AI generated videos are created. And there seems to be about 4 or 5 that are the most popular. So I'm like, I know that voice. I know that voice. So anyway, this one is kind of a fun one to play with, and it's really good, I found, for teaching complex subjects where you don't want people focusing on like, I'm not in that video, or this is maybe a little bit more heart-wrenching or something like that. So we do it a lot with health-related videos, and for some reason, it just doesn't want to let me log in. So we'll come back to it. There we go. Okay, here we go. So here's a recent video. Let's see, understanding PTSD. So here's the script. Now, what's cool about this is that I can come here on the script and then go to visuals and easily swap out the visuals. So let's say I wanted to have this instead of this picture, and I just click the video and I swap it out. It also tells me the scene duration, and here it tells me how long each of these clips are. So I can make sure that I don't have it go on a weird loop. So just a real quick look at what this might look like. In preview,
today we'll explore why
you have the watermarks. When you publish it, the watermarks go away.
Like nightmares, flashbacks, and intrusive thoughts, and how these experiences
Thank you,
are
Mary.
stored in our brains.
So there's
when we
that one.
experience
Stop
a
it.
traumatic.
There it is.
All right, there we go. So we want to go
Today,
away.
We'll explore why traumatic events.
Maybe not. Maybe not. There we go. We're just going to delete it. Okay. 3 more very quick. Creedle is used by several of our clients It's an aggregator for AI, but it's also very secure, and it allows you to create AI agents. You can create what they call co-pilots, which if you're familiar with ChatGPT, they're basically GPTs, but you can also integrate it with your Google Workplace. So if you're working on a project, it goes right to your file, and it integrates with Slack, which I found really, really helpful. So if you're on a big project where everyone's also using Slack, the Creedle can pull from the Slack channels and incorporate information shared in the Slack channels or push out to the Slack channel. So that one I found was kind of cool. The one that my team and I have started using now is Boodlebox, which is another aggregator. So originally I was going to talk about Poe. Then I discovered Boodlebox, which is designed more for education and academia. But what's very cool about this is in the paid version, you get DeepSeek, which is the Chinese AI that a lot of people are talking about, similar to Manus. But then you also get 3 different ChatGPT models, Claude models, Gemini models, Inflection, Llama, Amazon, Mistral, web research, image generation. And you can also create your own bots. Plus, this is the part that I found really cool is that it comes built in with all these other bots based on topics. So I can have a conversation with my business development manager. I need a 3-year strategic plan. And again, I'm just kind of doing this on the fly here. You'll see them.
There are no dumb questions, Mary.
Right. There are no dumb questions, but it'll say, it'll ask me those questions. So tell me about your response. So this one has been really cool. You can also use the composition, the career one you mentioned with Eric helping people with career. There's a job search plan bot, a LinkedIn profile bot, a resume bot. And so the last thing I'm going to say about this is you can also invite people to join your bot conversation with you. So for example, if I wanted Eric to join in this conversation about my resume, for example, I'm a student, I could just invite him to join me even on a no account, and then he can see what I'm doing with the bot and also ask the bot questions. So those are mine for today. Hopefully you enjoyed them.
Absolutely delightful. Thank you so much. I can see why you do learning systems for a living. Thank you very much. And by the way, there was somebody said they were filling several positions at their company. This was on LinkedIn early this morning, and the person said, those of you using AI in your online applications and your resumes, that's really cool, but all of your resumes are sounding exactly alike. Would you please stop it? Because we know who did this as a human and who did this, and the same, and I've been noticing this with my guests for years, the same superlatives. Everybody is the best at this, the top, and they didn't say that. So anyway, Mary, everybody give Mary a round of applause. That was really lovely. Really lovely. Sherry's got Luca there. How old is Luca now, Sherry?
He's 6.5 months.
And he's not going to clap for us. He's not going to clap for Mary. It was in spirit.
He might scream for you.
He might scream for us. Okay, thank you very much. And I just discovered that Zoom also changed the view set. Oh, here we are. We're back. When you were on screen, it gave me all kinds of options, Mary, when you were sharing that I've never seen before. Side by side, standard. There were like 20 different view options that have never popped up when a guest was sharing. So I have to refamiliarize myself with Zoom. Bob Ficken, you are up. Why don't you unmute and you want to share anything, or are you just going to talk?
Sure. If I can.
Yeah, share button at the bottom. It's open.
Okay.
There you go.
First one I'll show you.
Yes.
Get this to go away. There we go.
Okay.
Is the math one. It's called Math AI. And you can see I went in here to save time and I typed a question in there, to the kind that we all hated when we were in math classes in school. If a train leaves Chicago at 5:37 a.m. heading to New York, a distance of 1,712 miles, what speed will the train need to travel at to reach New York in 12 hours? And you can see what it goes through here. First, it identifies the concept. Then it comes up with ideas for solving the problem, calculates the required speed, and comes up with 142.66 miles per hour. So
you knew that. Martin, didn't you know that? Didn't you do that in your head, Martin?
Yeah, back in the days, yeah.
Except I think you left 2 of the 6s off. Go ahead, Bob, please.
So I mean, it can do most any kind of problem. You can either paste it in, you can upload a PDF with a problem on it. You can
Really?
all kinds of different
Wow.
things.
It'll read a PDF? That's amazing.
Listen, I might go back to school with all of these tools.
A lot of us might. Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, anyone have a question they want me to try?
Anybody have Mary, got a question for him? She's going to unmute.
No question, but yeah, that's what I was looking for, Study X, because I already have an idea of where I might be able to use this. So does it do like blueprint problems too, Bob? Like
Yeah.
if I was trying to have it translate something in a blueprint, I could put it in there and it would explain it in English to me?
If you could put the blueprint on a form that it'll accept, like it's PDF and it accepts other documents, so I'm pretty sure it would. Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Wow.
Thank you.
That's amazing. That is really something. PDF is the go-to universal format that'll take almost anything and make it into basically a snapshot. Have anybody ever tried to copy text out of a PDF and expect it to come in? It's usually got odd spacing and weird leading and all of that. It's done something to it. Okay, Bob, next.
I gotta get my dog out of chewing on some. Hold on. So
This is a family show today. We've got grandchildren, we've got puppies. I've got
Kane. I won't take the time to show it to you to save time, but essentially, if you're a content provider, what it does is it turns user insights into impactful LinkedIn posts with AI Toolkit. So if like for Mary, someone that posts a lot of content and stuff all the time, it's a real easy way to get things posted on LinkedIn or other places. So it works pretty well. I've used it a couple times. And the last one I'll talk about.
Wait a minute. What's the name of that one again? Tell us the name.
That one is called Arcane.
Arcane. You want to stop sharing your screen unless you're going to show something else? We want to see you.
How do I stop?
Oh, yeah. So I think, Bob, you need to click window when you share because we're still seeing Study X.
Okay.
I can stop sharing for you. I ended it. Okay, I did that. The controls are all different on Zoom today. This is quite something. Stuff I've never seen in all these years. Bob, what's your next one? Go ahead.
The next one is Kotae. It's Kotae. Deliver exceptional first impressions with an AI chatbot.
Ooh.
So you create the chatbot, you tell it what you want to do, and it delivers it all for you. So you can deliver like an entire speech on something you don't even know anything about, like basket weaving. And the chatbot will deliver the whole presentation on basket weaving.
Neat.
Or something like that. So
that's very cool.
I don't know if you can use it to write a book, Mary, but you might be able to use it to take a class or two.
I like it. Bob, we need to chat after this.
Bob, you have one more?
The other one I'll share is Sensei, only because it takes me back to Karate Kid.
Mm-hmm.
Create and fine-tune human-like AI replicas to preserve and share your wisdom. Martin, this is for you.
Sensay, just the way it's pronounced. Sensei, S-A-Y. Go ahead, Bob.
Create your own AI replica. Come up with your own personal proverbs or favorite sayings or whatever. Create a different AI for each one. AI replica for each one. Have one with a wizard hat on when Mary wants to talk about dragons. Have one with something else on when Martin wants to talk about something else. It's pretty cool. So you can create any AI replica you like to preserve and share your wisdom.
So you would have isms that we call those isms. So we would have a Bob-ism, we would have a Martin-ism, an Eric-ism, a Sherry-ism, and a Mary-ism. And a Bunny D-ism. I don't like the way that sounds. Okay. People have published books of their sayings, of their isms. I could take bits and pieces of the audio from the show and turn it all into your isms. That would be interesting. It sounds like we need a doctor. Thank you very much, Bob. Very interesting. And Bob, would you remind us again where you got that stunning background behind you? Because Mary didn't see it last time. Mary, look at Bob's background. Where'd you get it, Bob? I know. Go.
I believe Bonnie created it.
I love it. I love it.
I didn't create it. I found it in a list of apps that I was putting into for everybody to take a look at. And this was a graphic that was in one of the Neuron or AI, one of the newsletters I get. And I copied it in, and Bob loved it, and he took the JPEG and he made it a background. I know, Martin.
The best thing is the glow.
Bob, you are in. Can you see yourself, Bob? You are in the circle of glow. This is a Bob Glow Day. Glow Bob, go Bob, glow up there. I know that's an expression. Sherry and Luca, Luca, can you hold him up just a little more so everybody can see how
Sure. I'm trying to prevent him from touching my keyboard.
Okay.
He might go bye-bye if he does that.
You want to go now or you want to go later, right?
Sure, no, I'll go now.
Go ahead. You want to share or are you just going to talk?
No, I'm just going to talk.
Okay.
I love all the apps that you guys have been bringing to the table, and I've been furiously writing some of them down. And what fascinates me about all this is how all these things change our lives. I was thinking about the Study X one and trying to get my 16-year-old grandson to do his homework, and that would probably be, his parents would hate that. But anyway, so I've been looking at things and how people are using AI. And there was a church in Finland that actually used 3 different AI tools to create a virtual church service. And it was about 45 minutes long. The response was that it was quirky and it was fun. So imagine, re-engaging people and going to church because you're interested in what's being presented. I thought this was really interesting. They wrote the sermon using OpenAI's ChatGPT 4.0. They wrote some of the songs, their original music, using Suno. And they created visuals, which included a bearded Jesus at one point. And each of the 3 guys that had worked on creating the service. But they weren't the first ones. Apparently, there was a church in Germany that also did something similar in 2023. And last year there was an avatar of Jesus on a computer screen in a Catholic chapel, which I grew up Catholic, so I was impressed by this. And it was in Switzerland, and they took questions from believers and others and responded based on scripture. How about that?
Interesting. Very interesting. Okay.
I've been using Ohai, OHAI, which is a calendar app. And what I love about it is that it brings in all different kinds of calendars. So, for example, the school's calendar for one of the grandchildren is on Google. I can bring that in. I can bring in my Google Calendar, my family calendar that we use on my iPhone, and it will each night, if I choose, remind me of what's coming up in the next day or two. But it also includes the capabilities to plan meals and have those come up and look up the recipes and create the shopping list. So it's a great at-home helper where a lot of the things that we see are at work. I think this one's really cool for organizing your whole life.
Okay.
And the other thing I'm really into is psychotherapy, because I've had some interesting interactions with the digital world and psychotherapy in the last couple of years, which Bonnie, you know about. And not me personally, but I've actually worked with someone who was working on depression through by getting ketamine in the mail and doing the treatment at home by himself. And I thought that was bizarre. But then I read that there is actually approved by the FDA this prescription digital therapy. And there are several apps that actually work with this. You'll have to look it up and investigate into it, but I was really surprised. Click Therapeutics is one, and it develops and commercializes software as prescription medical treatment. So it uses a platform-based approach with AI-based technologies underneath it. And Rejoin is another one, which Bonnie, I think you also ran across in your search, which is...
That's REJOYN, correct.
Right. It's a prescription digital therapeutic, again, by Click Therapeutics in collaboration with Otsuka. And it's authorized by the FDA. Who would ever thought these things would be authorized by the FDA?
Not yet.
The adjunctive treatment of major depressive symptoms. So those are kind of crazy to me. And then there's Speechify, which turns anything, you pull any kind of PDF again into this app, and it will read it for you, which I thought would be quite handy for some, like reading legal documents or contracts or something. But it was originally really developed for people with ADHD. So imagine, you're the kind of person who's reading and you're just rereading the same paragraph 5 times over and you're not absorbing it. This was developed to kind of help that.
All good thoughts. Thank you, Sherry. Very, very interesting. I still want to know if you would use that Gemso, the one I talked about with the wardrobe advice. Maybe it'll tell you and me.
No, I would not. You know why? Because I
Why?
have my own unique style and I don't want anyone else to tell me what to do.
Well, maybe it'll help us find a different type of black dress for us to wear, Sherry.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking. It
Well,
might tell me.
I'd try it.
I might tell me to put the rose on the left side instead of the right once in a while, or different earrings or something like that. Yeah,
I don't know that you'd alter your appearance though, Bonnie.
I don't think so, but it would be subtle, but it might make me feel very happy one day versus, yeah, here I am another day. So I know Bob can identify with that. Okay. Bob, you're not wearing a hat today. Bob has been branding himself with a hat.
You get to a certain age, you don't care about fashion anymore.
Yeah, Bob, that's why I wasn't sure.
Speak for yourself, honey.
What's different? I like it.
For yourself. Thank you, Sherry. That was great. And Luca, Sherry, I'm going to make a style suggestion. You change the name on your screen from Sherryanne Meyer. It should be Sherryanne Meyer and Luca. Communications and change strategists with a plural, because Luca was really good. And he's just really, really, really good. Okay, let's go to Martin. You're up next. Martin, welcome back. Talk to us. What you got?
Yeah, I'm bringing you a few things from sort of the business AI world. So I want to start with what we call geospatial AI, and I will not name the name of the vendor just because otherwise people get offended that I have not named them. But I think most of the geospatial vendors these days have it, and there were three things that I sort of saw that really impressed me. Number one is you can now do what we in our company have done 2 or 3 years ago, just in an innovation experiment, is now pretty much available off the shelf. That is, if you have a 3D object scene that was built by either taking different pictures and sort of putting it together into a 3D object model, or having what's called LiDAR, so laser points that are shot from either from a car or from a drone, and you stuck that together. That wasn't the interesting stuff. The interesting part is that you can now identify 3D objects in that scene. So if you want to count the number of cars that are seen on the road, or the number of power poles in the utility scene that I'm dealing with, or the number of street signs that are stop signs, all of that is something you can do now automatically, just by identifying sort of the object. And that is really, really interesting because it sort of creates efficiencies where people had to literally walk through that 3D scene manually. And funny enough is these days game engines are used to visualize that. So if some of you have played sort of first person games where you can walk through a scene and environment, these 3D vendors are now sort of encroaching onto that game space because games are becoming more real every day. So now you can literally build your own game environment in a geospatial engine and or use your own local map that you have created in order to bring that into life. So that was really cool. So the second part in that geo AI field was the recognition of sort of 2D elements in that 3D world. So if you imagine you have a town in a 3D model, it can now go as far as count all the number of windows that you have on all the buildings. So literally look at all the sides of the buildings and then identify the 2D images, but also entrances. So now you can imagine that if you know where the entrance to a house is and you want to sort of calculate the walking distance between the house entrance here or the university study hall and another part of the university, now you can optimize all of that and can optimize pathways with that. And then last but not least, recognition of property damage. So in the past, you had to manually crawl through satellite images, et cetera. Now these geo AI functionalities can automatically determine how much damage was inflicted on a single property. Obviously, the latest example that we could bring is the vast devastation that we saw in Los Angeles, and they brought that as a case, so they can literally with an AI engine determine what's the initial level of or the estimated level of damage on that property all the way from zero. It's it's essentially devastated, to yeah, we see a tree falling over, but it's sort of, we can quantify that at 10%. So that was really impressive on the geospatial AI side. The second one that brings us on the business side, you know, huge improvements is in the you know, topic of integration. When we're talking about integration, we're usually talking about applications want to talk to applications. They have both APIs, so information's coming out of one, going into the other ones, but we always need to map that. Yeah, there are different field names, you know, formatting has changed. And a lot of the providers that we're working with these days have, you know, AIs for doing automatic integration mappings. You're essentially giving some sample messages from this side, some sample messages from that side. And rather than sitting down and manually having to draw these maps, et cetera, you literally hit the button and voila, here we go. You know, the field mapping is done. So that saves a lot of time. And then the last one, more from a development perspective, for those of you who have developed in the past, one painful exercise is always, okay, I need to write a test program. Most of that can be done automatically already. But now we're also getting to realistic test data generation. So rather than having to sit there, create an Excel sheet and create, you know, thousands of lines of test data, you know, literally just provided sort of the structure of what you need, hit a button, and test data is generated for you. So, and after I've exhausted all of that throughout the day, and I come home and you know, try to bring the kids to bed. Obviously, if I'm really creative, I'll do this myself. But I figured I'll throw in a little bit for levity here. I found the AI children's story generator, which is fantastic. I can highly recommend it. You can specify things like, what's the age of your children? You know, what genre do you want? So like romance. And my kids, when I say romance, I was like, oh no, don't do romance. You know. So, but you have sci-fi, you have action, you know. And if they sort of talk to their classmates about Minecraft, we might do a Minecraft story, and then you can define the setting and the context, and you hit a magic button and you specify also how long the story should be, and voila! All you need to do is now read the children's story that includes, you know, Princess Sophie and Knight Peter in a Minecraft story slaying the Ender Dragon, and so it's a fantastic end of a busy day for me, and really just on button click and AI, we're having lots of laughs and fun with it. So
like that. What's the name of the story app again, Martin?
There are various ones, turns out, but the one that I used is called classx.org. It's really cool.
CLASSX.org,
Yeah.
Class X.
Yeah.
Okay. Sherry's writing this down, or we'll send that to you. Luca might want a story. Luca's being very, very good today, by the way. Oh, she muted, but Luca's been wonderful. Thank you.
He's been good. He's been good. Thanks for that tip, Martin.
Yeah,
Good
cool. I told you we're learning and sharing together. Eric Myers, you're up next. Eric, what have you got for us?
Thank you so much, Bonnie. And I just want to say, before I speak on some of the apps that I'm going to go through here, I just want to thank everyone again for all the amazing, you know, insight I continue to, you know, get from our conversations here, and been, you know, secretly jotting notes like us all throughout. And just, it's kind of incredible, just the vast amount of, you know, AI-based platforms that there is, you know, from when we've had our first conversations to now. And crazy world out there. It's always just with how much there's yet to be developed,
Right.
yet to be created. So that's like the, I guess, forever student in me, with just the amount of knowledge that's out there. And
You're absolutely right. It's a great observation. I get newsletters every day, the Neuron and AI this and AI that, and I look at the apps. There are hundreds and hundreds. In the space of a month, I might have a list of another 100 to 150 apps. I don't try them all. I try a few of them, but it's interesting that they're still being created, right, Mary? There's still people still coming up with ideas, and that's why I titled this "Need Help with That?" Question mark. Isn't that what we're talking about here? Eric, let's have your list. Go ahead.
yeah, so the first one that I want to speak on for a little bit here is the Fit Genie AI-based app. So what this is very much kind of similar to some of the things we've talked about for, you know, keeping busy, or when we have busy lives. How do we make sure that we're planning for meals, if we're wanting to think about kind of different food products that we want to make, or food products that we want to consume? So the Fit Genie app does basically everything when it comes to meal prep. You can scan different food, you know, codes to see kind of the calories that you're consuming, the ingredients within, you know, each meal or within each snack. So it's not catered just towards those with special dietary needs or those that are extra health conscious. I think it can be applicable for everyone. I mean, who doesn't want to try, something different when it comes to an evening meal after a busy day of work or having to care for the kids and grandkids? So it's all about time. It's all about, getting the most out of the days that we have. So this AI app, I've used it a little bit with just kind of tracking calories or seeing, making sure I'm getting the correct amount of protein, carbohydrates, healthy fats, etc. So I think it's just only going to continue to evolve, only going to continue to grow. And I've mentioned this before on, when we had our Cool Dudes, session, Bonnie. I have celiac disease, so I have to be very, very careful with what I eat. No gluten whatsoever. So this has been a huge help with just giving me even more energy, even more, strength to get through the day, which has been nice. So that's the first one. Number two, and it's kind of similar to what Martin was mentioning earlier about, assessing not so much homes when there's, natural disasters that occur, but because in the US especially, there's so many different types of properties, there's so many different types of, events that could occur. The Home Genie app is something that I've done a little bit of, research and looking into. And what the Home Genie AI app does is it's an open source, general purpose programmable, AI platform that helps and control all things within one's home, one's property, with just managing different technology platforms, seeing kind of what energy efficiency is, how much, sunlight is being tracked, how much, emissions, are being, let loose through the, home or respective property. So if you're wanting to have kind of real-time data, real-time information for, different things that are happening within one's property or one's place of residence, if for whatever, hopefully this doesn't happen, but if there's future natural disasters or future events that happen and, destroy one's property or do significant damage to one's home, this can be a really big help with insurance companies and settling, costs and, starting up repairs. So it's a matter of, I think, just, combining both the insurance side of things, but also just the management and efficiency of homes and properties.
Okay.
And last but not least is the HomeLens, AI-based app. So many, if not all of us, have gone through the home buying process or apartment buying process. We know it can be a pain in the butt when you're dealing with realtors. Sorry, Sherryanne. Sometimes, when you're dealing with lawyer contracts too, it's a lot of reading for someone such as myself. It can be a little bit of a dull, not the most exciting part of the, home buying process. But this does an excellent job of just helping, simplify, what types of properties you're interested in, what types of locations within whatever market or city you wish to buy in, giving you a little bit more real-time accuracy, real-time information. I think just making the process as simplified, as efficient, and just easy as possible. And I think from the conversation that we've all had this morning with all the great AI apps that we've spoken on, then, now, and in the future as well, it's all about, making our lives easier as opposed to harder. There's only X amount of time throughout the day. And I think this just speaks to, again, everything that we've mentioned. There's a lot more benefits than negatives. Not perfect by any means of all the various apps. And it makes me even more excited and optimistic for what's yet to come, so to speak.
Very well put. More benefits than negatives. And it's still happening. It's still in development. It's still in evolution. Technology revolution. I'll take the R off of that. Technology evolution. There we go. We have time for a little bit more. So, Mary, you want to share a couple, and then Bob, I think we'll fill in. What do you think, Mary? Got a couple?
Sure, I'll share two.
Go ahead.
All right. So this first one, I
You're
don't
going to show us on your screen?
I am. I'm just pulling that up. So I don't know how many of you play around in Google AI Studio, but they just released a new update, and it's the image generation experimental. Now, caveat here, Google's in a little bit of trouble with this experimental model because you can actually remove watermarks from images and not tell the difference. So do not do that if you don't want to get yourself in legal trouble. So I just want to put that caveat out there. But what you can do, so for example, they have some prompts like, do you want to design like a little birthday card? My daughter, her baby shower is this weekend. It was close. Her name's Andy, not Bindi. But other than that, we got a little card. But this one is kind of cool. So this is just a standard image that you get like in PowerPoint. And what I want to do is say, remove the phone and replace with a bag of popcorn. And so we're going to let the words catch up, and I'm going to click run. It's going to tell me how long it takes to do this. So we've got this little second counter down here. And in approximately 9 seconds, if this is anything like yesterday, yep. So now we have the man, he still has his phone, but he also has a thing of popcorn in his hand. And that was with the Google image creator. So you can also, you know, if you've got like a little, this one isn't going to turn out so well, but just to show you, change his suit coat to purple. When you say change everything to purple, it turns out a little bit weird, but it's kind of amazing how quickly. So look, now we have a purple suit coat, a bag of popcorn, and he's talking on the phone. And I didn't even have to put any kind of a detailed prompt. So that's Google AI Studio Gemini 2.0 Flash Image Generation Experimental. So I just thought I'd share that because I've been having a whole lot of fun with it. The other thing, just really quickly, we had talked about Well Said Labs, 11 Labs, and some of the others. So I'm just so you can kind of see what it looks like. You have your choices of voices, and they have different vocal styles. Again, this is going to vary depending on what plan you're on, different voices for different subscription plans. But we're going to just stick with good old Wade. And I can just come in here and say,
Good
okay,
old Wade. Mary, do you realize you're
I want
talking
him to do a
about an AI
promo.
voice?
Welcome to our popcorn store.
Yes.
All right. So then we create this as a single take. Then I can listen to it.
Welcome to our popcorn store.
So that's in his promo voice.
I want to know what Eric, was that a happy enough voice there? Eric, you're muted. You're muted. Eric, yeah, go.
There you go. Yeah, I was just gonna say almost too happy, and the purple blazer too. I gotta up my blazer game now. Well done.
You do, you do. Mary, give us another one.
All right,
Mary?
so here's good old Wade in conversational voice.
Welcome to our popcorn store.
And then narration. And again, some voices have multiple styles, some just have one.
I didn't know that.
Here he is in narration.
Welcome to our popcorn store.
So again, depending on your project, depending on what you're going to do, then you can just download it and pop it into whatever you're doing. So there are different accents from different parts of the world. You can change it into different languages. But anyway, I just wanted to show, Well Said, 11 Labs is very similar.
Yep.
It does give you the ability to also clone your own voice, much like Speechify does. And same thing, you can clone your voice into Descript and use Descript for something like that as well. So, Bob, your turn.
Bob, yep. Bob, got a couple? We got about 6 minutes left. Go.
Well, there's one called Hemingway Editor Plus, which, as you would suspect, can be used to fix wordy sentences, grammar issues, and more with the help of AI. Now, it won't smoke a cigar for you, like Hemingway used to do, but it can fix your writing to make it sound a lot better. I went into it and tried, for example, to enter a couple paragraphs about a short story that I was going to create. And I think I had 3 pages, and it made it sound better and condensed it to about 2 paragraphs. So it worked pretty well. The other one I'll talk about real quick is called Datrix, D-A-T-R-I-C-S. You can prepare, chat, and experiment with your data with an easy-to-use AI analytics platform. So you can enter your data, and then it gives you a lot of pre-developed commands, which allow you to view it in almost any format you want to see. As Martin was talking about in business, maybe you want to look at inventory through units sold, units purchased, turnover, how fast were the turns, all that kind of stuff. So pretty handy to use for a lot of comparison and analytics.
Thank you very much. We have a couple. Thank you.
Anything about my hat? I put it on.
Oh, you put it on. There you. I'm so distracted by that gorgeous image behind you that you borrowed from whatever I copied, wherever it is that we can't give credit to because I don't know where I got it. Everybody like Bob's hat? Would that Gensmo? Sherry, would it recommend? I think that's one of your best hats, Bob.
I like that hat. I like that hat.
I think that's one of your best hats.
Yeah.
We have 5 minutes left. Does anybody have any more? Martin, I'm looking at your part 1. You had You had Dolly, which we know about. You had Teams transcript. I think we have a lot of transcription. What about Narrowkey? Are you still happy with that one, Bob? I'm sorry, with Martin?
Yeah. That's it goes into the same direction of well said. So I just sent that to a family member because the idea was, hey, we want to take scripts, as Mary had, but really from a PDF file and analyze, what are the different characters in the script. So rather than just giving a scene, actors always wanted to, drive around in the car and they don't have time to read the script while they're having to drive around. So he sent me this PDF file. I'm like, this should be simple, just take a PDF, carve it up, do OCR, then you just have to figure out, okay, which line is which character. And then you do something like what Well Said has. You just have to now assign a character to the individual and the voice to the individual, and then you put it back together, and here you have your acting script, broken down into essentially a listening, an audiobook. So that's sort of what these characters always look for, because they have to practice lines,
Yep.
and while you're in a bus or something, it's not easy.
Thank you. I have one, Eric, from last time. Or did you do VinoSense today, Eric? Did you do that?
No, I didn't get a chance to do
Well, let's
VinoSense.
do VinoSense because I think everybody's ready for this. It's almost noon here. Go ahead. It's a little early to drink, but go ahead. VinoSense. Go ahead, Eric.
Yeah, so when we're talking about VinoSense right here, what this AI app does is it gives almost kind of an counterintuitive to what I was just talking about earlier about health consciousness, meal prep, tracking calories, getting your proper nutrition. VinoSense is all about wine tastings, wine pairings, not just for like mastery and having the perfect charcuterie board with your favorite glass of Cabernet Merlots, etc. But who doesn't want to, start happy hour at the appropriate time? Who doesn't want a little extra wine tasting, advice or wisdom? So it's really good. Is that something I'm trying to get more into? Is just trying different wines from all different parts of the world, and instead of manually going into each winery or just Googling it online, having this way to just be more efficient, cast as big a net as possible when it comes to pairing recommendations and other types of spirits too. It's not just wine exclusive, which is nice, as I'm a big Scotch fan, as Bonnie knows as well.
Okay.
So, this is like the perfect app for many different reasons for me there.
Thank you. And I have a couple to add. I have something called Typefully. Mary, have you come across this one? TIPEFULLY.
No, I haven't seen that.
It writes, schedules, and publishes articles and posts on LinkedIn and other social platforms without distractions. And I'm not sure what the distractions means, but it'll write them, and then it'll tell you when the best time is to publish them. I found one called Giftruly. Eric, you might like this one. GIFTRULY. It finds gifts for people in your life who are hard to shop for. I guess you put in their preferences, their styles. And Bob, do you know that one? Are you familiar with that one?
Well, I have to tell you, as a man,
yes,
that pretty much applies to everybody in my life.
There you go. I've resorted to gift certificates for my family. I ask, what store do you like? If it's not Amazon or something. Bob, are you familiar with Giftruly?
It can save a lot of marriages.
and other relationships. We'll leave it at that. And then I found one on the higher end business side. It's called Core Search. It's AI-driven tools for global trademark protection and brand management. Martin, are you starting a new company? You might want to deal with that. Core Search. I thought that would be a very interesting one. Yes. And let's see, one more. Playmaker turns financial statements, contracts, and shipping documents into organized spreadsheets. There's that old-fashioned word. You can instantly search and analyze. And Travel Wrapped transforms your 2024 trips, well, now it would be 2025, into Instagram-style year in review infographics. And that may be very similar to what, don't we all have those year in review on our iPads? Don't we all have those? The Apple Intelligence will do that to you. And I just find that all kinds of stuff pops up on my iPad, these reviews. I see pictures of people who are no longer around, and I say hi to them. I just wave. It's very nostalgic, and it's very nice when the pictures of people who mattered to you or people who aren't around for different reasons and matter to you at one time. Okay, we got about 2 minutes left. So I want you all to do on the count of 3, you're going to all yell no, no, no with me, just like we used to do. And then I'm going to play the outro music. Jordan, don't worry, I'll do it. So people say the future is already here, and our answer is 1, 2, 3. No.
No.
No. Luca said it too. Sort. Oh, I scared him. Oh my
A little
God.
too loud.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh.
Luca, no. Grandma Bonnie says no. That's because the future is evolving. It's almost here. Parts of it are here. It's not exactly here, and it's still becoming the future. Any second when I finish a sentence, it's coming after that. So don't go away, friends. Let me put the music on here. And thank you to Jordan, our engineer at Voice America Business. And let's get this volume up and the sound is up, and let's go with the closing. Here we go.
Are you tired of hearing the future is already here? We are too. That may have been yesterday's future, but today's future hasn't happened yet.
Not yet,
Take a
see?
deep breath, tune out the hype, the noise, and turn up the volume. Savvy, art of the possible technology visionaries
That's you.
talking about how today's innovations right now are shaping every aspect of our real future. We'll laser focus our spotlight on buzzworthy tech like artificial intelligence, machine learning, Internet of Things, augmented reality, and lots more. Clear your calendar and open your mind for Technology Revolution, the future of now. With the most upbeat host on global radio, Bonnie D. Graham. Listen anywhere, anytime, on any device.
I have to tell you.